So you just binged, you feel terrible, and you want to know what to do next. In my last video, I talked about what not to do after a binge, and today I want to share some things that actually will help you. What helps is how you respond to yourself. So let's talk about some things you can do that will make a difference. First, do get curious about why it happened. Instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself why. Binging is like a message in a bottle from a part of yourself that needs attention. Ask yourself, what was I feeling right before this binge started? Were you stressed, lonely, bored, angry, sad, anxious, worried, shameful? I remember working with someone who kept binging at night after work. She realized she was super anxious about her job. So binging was actually her way of trying to calm those anxious feelings. If you were feeling anxious, just naming that feeling, I'm anxious right now, that's a good start. Validate your feeling, express yourself, and give yourself some reassurance. If you're binging out of boredom, think about what else might satisfy that restless feeling. Maybe you need to do something creative or interesting. If loneliness is behind the binging, call a friend, reach out to someone, or learn to be better company for yourself when you're alone, turning loneliness into solitude. Second, do notice your thoughts. Pay attention to what you were thinking right before you started binging. Were you being mean to yourself? Telling yourself you're not good enough, something like that, criticizing yourself, criticizing your body. These thoughts create bad feelings which trigger a binge to get away from your own mean voice. Or you're thinking something like, I'm such a failure. Then you feel terrible. You reach for food to feel better. Challenge those negative thoughts. You weren't born thinking you weren't good enough. You learned that somewhere, and you can unlearn it and learn a new way. 3, do ask yourself what you really need. It's a big one. Ask yourself, what am I really hungry for in my life? Are you hungry for love, for rest, for fun, for money, for meaning, for fulfillment? Binging is about fulfilling an emotional hole with food, but of course, it never works. You need to figure out what you really need. 4, do return to normal eating. After a binge, just go back to normal eating. Don't skip breakfast. Don't make up for the binge by not eating much or dieting. This only sets you up for another binge later when you get too hungry. Have regular meals and snacks throughout the day. Eat foods that nourish you and taste good to you. Your body needs to know that food isn't scarce. And when you skip meals after a binge, you're telling your body, there's not enough food, deprivation, and your body responds by making you really hungry later, which can trigger yet another binge. So keep eating normally, even if your mind tells you to diet. 5, do move your body in ways that feel good. Notice I say move in ways that feel good, not exercise to burn off the binge. There's a big difference. Moving your body can help you feel better by releasing tension and improving your mood. Take a walk outside, do some stretching, put on your favorite music, dance around your house. The key is to move from a place of self-care, not self-punishment. It's not about burning calories. It's about feeling better in your body and processing what's going on. 6, do learn to cope with feelings in new ways. Once you understand what's triggering those binges, you need new ways to deal with what's going on inside. So get to know your emotions. Start off by just naming what you're feeling, like I said before. Feeling anxious right now, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling bored. And then rate the feeling from 1 to 10. Just notice it without judging it. This is hard at first, especially if you've been using food to avoid feelings for a long time. But notice, what is the intensity of that feeling? And also talk to yourself as if you were a friend. If a friend was upset, you wouldn't say, eat this pizza. So don't do that to yourself. Find ways to let those feelings out. Write in a journal, talk to a friend, make art, move your body, cry, scream into a pillow. I've heard from people who use my guided journal to help them figure out what's going on. Whenever they want to eat, they write down what they're feeling first, and they start noticing patterns and finding better ways to handle specific feelings. The journal helps you with that too. Check in with yourself regularly throughout the day. Ask yourself, how am I doing right now? What do I need? Don't wait until you're about to binge to pay attention to your needs. 7, do reach out for support. Don't try to do this alone. Reach out for support from people who understand. That might be a friend or might not. A group, like a support group with people who know what you're going through, that can really help, along with working with a therapist who specializes in binge eating. Asking for help isn't weakness, it's a sign of courage and shows that you value yourself enough to invest in your healing. No one solves binge eating all by themselves. We all need support. Join my Dr. Nina's Food for Thought community on Facebook. And remember, binge eating is not about food. It is not about willpower. It is not about control or addiction. It's about what's eating at you. When you understand the meaning behind those binges, that's when real change happens. Be patient with yourself. This takes time. And celebrate even those small insights and small steps forward. If you're turning to food, you're turning away from something else. That urge to binge, again, it's a communication from you to you. It's trying to tell you something important. When you listen, instead of judging, you begin to heal. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What helps you after a binge? What have you learned about your own triggers? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If this resonates, it's time to take the next step. The Binge Cure will show you how to stop binging and start truly living. Get it now on Amazon.